Hey everybody, welcome to this reading. This reading is going to be about the possible events that can take place in the near future for India. So if you're somebody who lives in India or have a family in India, this video can be really helpful for you. In past few months, being a medium, being a channeler, I've had a lot of dreams around the possible events that can happen in our world, and within few weeks of my dream, I have seen them turning into reality. That is why I have felt called to do this reading at this point of time. Usually I don't do professionally tarot readings. I used to do, I have been a practitioner for 5-6 years, but in the last 2-3 years my attention was more towards meditation and healing work. But the times are like this that I felt called to do a reading today. Okay, so here we are. I already have the spread here. Let's get started. It's okay if you can't see this row. I will bring the cards closer to you. Okay, I hope you can see it now. All right, so let's get started. The first card that we have got is contemplation. Okay, I'm going to place it here for a while. Then the second card that we have got is excellence. So maybe you can see it here. Okay, excellence and contemplation. And the third card that we have got today is sound and music. Okay, so I'm going to place it here for now. So now let's talk about contemplation and excellence together. You might see here in the card that one of the characters have won. It has shown its power, and it is clearly showing its power, like I'm powerful, I'm strong, and the others are kind of cheering. And maybe one has also lost the match. It's almost like, you know, when you win a race and one of the participants win it, and they are like winning the goal and they are cheering and all that, and the other participant has lost it. So it seems like that kind of a picture. Okay, so what it is trying to say is that our country is going to show its excellence of power. Our country is going to show that we are very powerful. And when I think, when I look at this, you know, muscle and all of that, it comes to me as defense power, as military power. So in the coming few months, or maybe in the near future, you will see activities where you will feel that India is showing its power in defense, in military. That would also mean border tension, that would also mean warlike situations, which honestly has already started after the attack, which all of you already know about. So it has already started, and there is a high possibility that it will you know, continue forward, and there will be something that will happen which will be like a like an opportunity for our country to show power, military power, to show the world that we are strong and we are, you know, because otherwise you don't need to show your power. Until unless there is an attack, we don't show power, right? Or until unless there is some kind of border tension, then only it is required. So I'm going to use these tarot cards, the mini tarot cards. I love them. They are very powerful, and they give like such exact meanings, and yet so handy. So I'm going to use them to get a little bit more description on what kind of power is going to be displayed by our country. Let's see. Okay, so this one has fallen. Oh, we have 6 of cups. Okay, and I just realized my camera moves when I shuffle the cards because of the table. So I'll try not to do that. Just a second. So we have 6 of cups, and we have one more card here. Oh, okay. We have 8 of cups. Okay. Cups are coming a lot, interestingly. And you can probably see on your screen the broken glasses already. So let's dive into it more. Let's see what else has to come. Oh, okay. So 2 cards have come. We have got the Wheel of Fortune, and we have got Daughter of Swords here. going to be few events that will make India feel that we cannot just let this pass anymore. Okay, we have to come back because of the losses that will happen. Okay, and we have to come back and we have to show that we are not going to be quiet. Now I'm guessing that this could have already happened with the attack, because that is also very similar event that happened. But if not, then there is a possibility of more such situations building up, where India will feel that I cannot just ignore this and move forward. I need to come back to this. I cannot just let this go, because this has really hurt the people of the country, and we cannot just let this go. Okay, so that is one thing that I sense here. With the Six of Cups, I again feel that India is not going to let go of the old wounds. Okay, I feel like some old chapters are going to come onto the surface with the neighboring countries that have been closed or that have been not so much in news. But there are some old rivalries or old chapters that were probably not acknowledged so far, or they were just kind of kept aside to maintain peace, etc. Those chapters will open again. India will revisit those chapters again, and because of that, and through that, it can show its power. Okay, and we also have Wheel of Fortune and Daughter of Swords. Both of them is reminding me of communication and internet. So there is also a possibility that the situation, that the rivalries or the enemies, they will also attack through internet. That's a possibility. It doesn't have to be only through defense and border tension, but it could also be through internet, cyber attacks, those kind of things, interrupting communication. Okay, or maybe certain areas of our country gets some kind of interruption in their communication because of tense situation. Okay, so contemplation has also come here in the reading, and when I look at contemplation, I feel like this is also about how the leaders are contemplating whether we should impulsively jump to a decision and take some action, or we should think about it. So I feel like that has also been happening, and I feel it's good because otherwise, I mean, it's very easy to say that yes, as a country we're very powerful, but who is actually going to be there sacrificing their life? That is going to be real people. No matter which side it is, that's going to be real people with real family. So specifically, if you have, of course, love for your country, you know that your army men, your military people, they are going to be out there sacrificing their life. So contemplation is very important, and also an overall effect of any kind of warlike situation is a lot on a country, on its economy as well. So I feel like there are contemplation going on, that how we can show power without getting too tensed or getting into a difficult warlike situation. And I feel like that is going to be connected with internet. This could also be the other country. Okay, this could also be the rival countries thinking that how can we get into a war or an attack, like how can we attack the country, or how can we attack India without the border tension, without coming into the picture, but with something else. Okay, so that's something else, because sound and music actually, even though it says sound and music, but it actually talks about the vibration, the frequency, and that is connected to your mobile networks, your internet, those kind of things. So there is a possibility of a cyber attack happening on India by its rivalry countries, because I feel like it's not going to be a very border-like tension. Okay, that may unfold a little bit later, but a cyber attack is something which is highly possible in the near future. So that is something that I do see, which would mean that we will probably be off the grid of the internet, because even in this card, if you remember, this reminds me of the web, and this reminds me of the grid. So I feel like there's going to be a major web cyber attack, and Yeah, that is a possibility. I'm sure we all pray that something like doesn't happen, but there is a possibility of that to happen. Now let's dive into the other cards that we have here. So we have seasonal harvest. I think you can see from here, seasonal harvest. Okay. We have listening to wisdom. Again, sound has come, by the way. We have listening to wisdom. We have sun and stars. Okay. Okay, the message is getting clearer now. Okay. And we have rebirth. We have rebirth and reinvention. Invention. Interesting. So when I look at these cards, okay, first thing is seasonal harvest. So this could sometimes represent difficult harvest in the country, or scarcity or drought like situation. That's one way to look at it. But because it has come with this, oh, there was one more card. Oh, I did not notice that. I just noticed it right now. Like literally right now. Meditation for clarity. And this was with this listening to wisdom. Okay, I really did not know this. Divine played with me. Meditation for clarity, we also have that, and then we have this also, listening and sound. So we'll come to this. So coming to this seasonal harvest, see, when this comes with these kind of cards, okay, here and here, it doesn't have to be a harvest problem or a drought problem, but it could be connected to farmers, like farmers suffering because of the weather or because of the situation, or maybe some policies, or it could also mean that there could be a supply challenge, a supply problem of resources in certain part of the country. Okay, if not entire, at least in few parts of the country, there could be a supply issue. Now, if there is going to be an internet challenge or internet shutdown or whatever, of course, the supply chain gets affected. Okay, so it's a good message to plant, to have your own kitchen garden if it is possible, and to stock up few essential food items that can last for a longer period, because whenever something like that happens, if you read also internet shutdown or cyber attack at a much more massive level, it will affect the supply chains, it will affect the resources, and not just the resources like food and all, but all kind of other resources which is important for our life sustainability. Okay, so that is something which I see. Yeah, so that's one thing. Then coming to this card, the hidden one, of course, meditation for clarity, and this one, listening to wisdom. Okay, listening to wisdom. So again, if you see, I'm gonna use this hand. So again, if you see, there is sound. Okay, it's like she's trying to hear something, but she's not able to. And here also we had sound, and then we also have clarity, meditation for clarity. So collectively the message says that we are not able to clearly communicate and hear. Okay, so there is some connection challenge. Okay, and whenever there is no clarity, that means that there is some kind of blockage. So let's say if you have internet shutdown, how will you connect with the world? Of course, you will have no idea what's going on. You will lack clarity, and also you will struggle listening because you're no more connected with the grid. Okay, so there are going to be the network challenges and those kind of things. Okay, when you are not connected, we are not able to hear. So this is coming very strongly in the reading, by the way, and I don't see that it is so far. Also with this card, sun and stars, again this reminds me of the satellites and those kind of things. And also again it is about seeing far, right? So you are able to see far what's happening in America, what's happening in the other world, everything. You're all the time connected because of internet. But let's say if you do not have internet, if you do not have this, then you will not be able to see far, you will not be able to connect. Okay, so there is going to be some internet challenge, that is a very high possibility, though eventually it leads to reinvention and rebirth, which means it leads to an upgrade of the system currently, maybe, or upgrade in the way we look at internet, the way our life has been built around it. So it is definitely happening for a rebirth of our consciousness, for how we are perceiving this world, this reality, definitely for that. But there is high chance of happening, there's high chance of this happening in the coming times. And also with this card of seasonal harvest, I also feel, see, the interesting thing about this card is that she is not dependent to go to a shop to buy anything. She can have everything in her own house because she has her own kitchen garden, right? Similarly, sometimes these harvest cards also reminds me of the pentacles, the money. Okay, so I'm going to check a little bit more here, because I feel like there's a little bit more message that has to yet come. So we're going to ask our guided masters, our angels, our teachers to help us understand this message more. Can we have a much more clearer message here? Clearer message here for this card. Okay, so so the many cards that have come. I think I'm going to take this one, which is the Tower. So Tower card definitely means that there's going to be a major change. And again, see, electricity. Okay, again. So this is reminding me of the internet connections that we have. Anyways, let's move forward here. So let's see what else, because I feel like seasonal harvest is also connected with your money. Okay, so yes, so Empress is the card of abundance. Okay, she also sometimes represents wealth, abundance. And you know what, actually the rider deck, or what was it called, I forgot the name. So basically the original tarot deck, in that the Empress has this beautiful throne that she is sitting on, and then there is this fertile land, and there are like farms and all that, which is very similar to this card, this one. Okay, so an Empress is never deprived, she is never in lack. Okay, so now here, because Tower card has come, and she represents money and abundance as well. So the Tower card has come with Empress, which means that there is going to be a situation where you feel that you do not have enough. You will feel that you are not well provided for. Okay, this could be because of maybe some supply issues around groceries and food items, etc., or maybe because of the economy crisis. So in those times the inflation goes really high, so you can't really buy a lot of things. It could be because of that, or it could be the internet shutdown also. But there is a possibility where many of us, if not all, will feel a lack of abundance in their life in the coming times, where they will feel that their resources have been limited. And even if you have a lot of money in the bank, let's say if internet shutdown happens, you will be dependent on cash. And how many of us have that much of cash? So of course we will feel that we cannot be spending all our money, all our cash, because we need to be well planned, right? So that is why this feeling of lack can occur. Okay, so that's one message. I'm going to try to get few more messages around this card, which is listening to wisdom, and then this card, sun and stars. Okay, very interesting messages, by the way. I hope I'm going to do a little bit of how we can prepare also in the end, so stay here, we're going to do that as well. But we need to get a lot of information, right? We need to deep dive into stuff before we jump into conclusions. So let's see what's gonna happen, details on it. Okay, we have Hierophant, which represents sometimes the religious foundations or the educational foundation also. And of course, if there's an internet shutdown, then obviously the educational system will suffer also. So of course that will happen. Okay, so this card has come. Yeah, communication. The sword card represents communication. There is going to be a major communication challenge. Okay, it will be very difficult to yeah, I feel like it's going to be a cyber issue, because this key is reminding me of passwords, and when they are not protected, of attacks, but not on a personal level, but on a country level. So let's see a little more to get more clarity here. Okay, we've got one more card here. We've got Daughter of Cups and Son of Swords. Okay, we've got two more cards here. So we have got Ace of Swords and we have got Judgment. Yeah. So Ace of Swords again is connected to communication, internet, all of that. Judgment. See, judgment usually means that there's something that you have been waiting for a very, very long time to happen, but hasn't happened yet. And then finally that happens. So I feel like people will be, and in fact, actually, if you look at this, like there's this huge white bird that has come from the sky. Satellite is in the sky, by the way, through which we are all using the web connections. And this is like a queue, like the herd of birds. There's so many birds, okay, and they're all like lined up that, oh, I need it. They're all chasing, they're all trying to go towards this. So I feel like that kind of situation will appear because of the internet shutdown, where people will create herds or will create queues or lines around banks or around maybe supply, like maybe grocery stores, like that. So there is a possibility of those kind of things happening if we are not prepared for it. I wonder why Daughter of Cups has come here. So for that I will ask just a second. Yeah, so Daughter of Cups, what does it represent? Let's see. Okay, we've already got a card. Gratitude and thanks. So the good part about, because that's why I was thinking, because Daughter of Cups here honestly is reminding me of something positive. So with all of this happening, there's something positive which I feel is going to happen, that people will feel much more present in their life. They will feel grateful for the air that they breathe in, the plants around them, the animals, okay, the food that they have on their table. Like there's going to be so much gratitude. In fact, they're going to feel grateful for the neighbors also, that we are all together here, we are supporting each other. So from that perspective, it's definitely going to be a good rebirth of our consciousness. And maybe that's the higher purpose, because please remember, divine does everything for a higher purpose, but when we are in a lower frequency, we cannot understand that purpose, and then we end up getting consumed in the illusion of it. So, and that leads to suffering. So that is why the message here is that be anchored, because gratitude and thanks, she's kind of anchored in the ground, and she's so much in love with the nature. It is very, very beautiful. So be anchored where you are, celebrate nature, be happy where you are. That's kind of the message. Because see, even if the internet goes off, if you are a little bit prepared with cash and all that, of course this time is not going to stay for a long time. It will pass if this happens again. But staying grateful for what we have rather than focusing on what we do not have is going to be very important in this time, because that is what is going to remind us of what truly matters and what all of us are here for. Okay, what is our true purpose as humans? We are not here to be just working as robots for internet, because most of us are working like that. Okay, we are not here to be consumed by it. We are much more than that. Okay, so it's also a great time to remember your true essence. Okay, beautiful card, by the way, love this card. So that is what I have here. Now lastly, we have got few more cards here from a different deck, which is Gods and Goddesses of India. I personally love this deck because it has pictures of such beautiful gods and goddesses. So I always use them in my readings. Okay, so here we go. Let's kind of make space here because there's so many cards. So let me try to arrange them well. I'm sure the people who have a little bit of OCD, or maybe they are perfectionist, they will be really freaking out right now that, Shivangi, what are you doing? Okay, so I'll try to arrange it in my best capacity, because I'm not so planned. Let me tell you, I'm very messy. Okay, and you have seen it already. Alright, so let's get into this. So we have got the last few cards. Number one, we have Nitya Nand Prabhu. And those who don't know, he is one of the most important personalities from the Bhakti movement by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So you might have heard about this in ISKCON and all that. Okay, so we have got this card, and along with that we have got the card of Skanda, which is the god of war by the way. Okay, god of war, Skanda. In one of the just to tell you this, in one of the books, I think, I don't remember where, but I read that Kartikeya is also connected to internet technology developments and innovation. So and then we have also god of fire. So what else can we expect? Number one, definitely there's going to be a lot more this feeling, this bhavana, I'm using a Hindi word here, but this feeling or this bhavana of helping others, being there for each other, that definitely arises, and that is a very good thing. But along with that, many of us will awaken into bhakti. Okay, many of us will find our spiritual interest, our spiritual inclination. So I feel like the collective in general is going to be even more inclined towards bhakti, towards spiritual seeking and finding answers beyond the surface level reality that we always engage with. And that could be a possibility because of internet, because if there is no internet, honestly, we don't have anything to do. We are so dependent on it that we don't have any choice but to sit with ourselves and to look within. So that's one thing that I feel is a possibility that can happen. And then we also have Skanda, and which is the god of war. So as I said, this also reminds me of technology for some reason, as I read it somewhere. But god of war clearly represents that there is going to be a warlike situation in one way or the other, if not through border, but defense, but maybe through technology or internet. But there is going to be a warlike situation, because we also have Ganesha here, by the way. We also see Ganesha here, and Ganesha is the one that is ruling Buddhi, or the planet Mercury as well. And Mercury again is connected with communication, travel, networks, all of this. In fact, every time when Mercury retrogrades happen, you might already know that there's a lot of disruption in technology and all of that. So there is again a sign here. And then we have, but again, this could also be the warlike situation that has already been going on. Now we have also finally the card of Agni, and Agni Dev, as you can see, very important, of course, the fire element, very important. But if it becomes too much, if the fire becomes too much, then what happens is that it kind of increases rage and anger in people, and that rage and anger could be very difficult for people to handle, creating chaos. Okay, so there is a situation, or there is a possibility rather, that people will have a lot more rage developing in them, and that is something. And again, with god of war and Agni coming together, this is tensed warlike situation for sure. Okay, this is very difficult. Okay, because when you have fire with war, it is going to get tensed. Okay, but what kind of tension is something that we will see, and it will unfold in the coming future. Along with that, Agni also represents so when your inner fire, that is in the stomach, the Agni Shakti, when that goes too high, when it increases too high, you will feel extremely hungry, you will want to consume more, or you will have some kind of stomach issues, those kind of things. So consumption is increasing in people. Okay, rage is increasing in people, anger is increasing in people, and you are already familiar with all the kind of forest fires and wildfires that have been happening across the globe. So there is a situation for fire also to outbreak. But remember, fire doesn't have to be like the forest fire, sometimes even the fire that is within, which is your lava and volcano, when they move here and there, that results into earthquakes as well. Okay, so, and I feel like because the temperature and the global warming and everything has risen so much, that there could be a disaster like situation around landslides, around sudden pouring, or those kind of things. So I want to get a little bit more information here with Agni, and then we'll conclude this reading. Let's see what do we get with Agni. What does it want to convey? Okay, so we've got 5 of swords. Yeah, I think this is more inner rage of people than outer, because 5 of swords is like the feeling of jealousy, enemy like feeling, all those kind of things, or also like when people start to spread a lot of rumors which are not true, and because of that some kind of situation erupts out of that, rage erupts out of that. So like that. Oh, these are too many cards, so we won't take it. We'll see what flips on its own. Yeah, so we have got one more card here. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of communication challenge also, in terms of people getting angry over each other, and that can result into like heated conversations, that can result into rage and anger display in people, in public, in masses. So that is also a possibility. And we also have Ace of Pentacles. I feel like there's going to be a rage like situation around their wealth also, their money also, investments. Whenever economic crisis happens, of course rage also increases, anger also increases. So these kind of things that I see currently. Yeah, similar messages. Okay, so this is what I see for now. Lastly, let's get a 1 minute quick guidance on what all things that we can do to be prepared. Okay, so you have to wait just a minute for this. I will remove all of this and we'll quickly see what can we do to prepare best for the coming situation. Now again, I want to remind you that this is not something that I claim will definitely happen. Of course, this is just a reading, so maybe few of the things will come and manifest. Hopefully they don't, honestly, but if they do, we must know how to be prepared, right? So let's see what is the message around the preparation that we can do as a collective. Okay, what can we do as collective to prepare better? Okay, there are too many cards. I usually don't take too many cards because this could be just a coincidence and not just a flip of cards from the divine. So usually when 1 or 2 cards flip, I know it's a message that wants to be heard. So give us a preparation tip. Okay, so we got 1 card here. Tears of joy and sadness. Okay, not the tip I was looking for. No, not the one I wanted. Okay, let's see more. Affirmations for growth. Interesting. And we have 1 card here. Accept love. I think we can get 1 more card here. Maybe 1 more card. Affirmation for positive change. Okay. So we have got affirmation for positive change here. I will try to put it like this. I hope you can see all of them. Yes. Okay. So preparation that we can do. Number 1, we have tears of joy and sadness, which means it's not going to be all bad. Okay. There will be few events which it will be very difficult for us. Of course, anything anything that drastic, okay, because it's a change, right? It's a very drastic change. It's something that you do not expect. So whenever something so unexpected happens, it definitely becomes difficult for us to cope with it. But if we just give few days to it, or just kind of be with it, be with what we are experiencing, be with that emotion, we will be able to see a positive aspect of it as well. We will be able to see the good part of this as well. So even though we might feel a lot of challenge in it, like for example, let's say if there's an internet shutdown, of course it will be very challenging for us. But if we just sit with the emotion rather than trying to suppress it or whatever, we will be able to find out the higher purpose in it, the happier moments in it. Maybe you will connect more with the people around you. Maybe you will suddenly give up the whole idea of scrolling your phone all the time. Maybe you will start to live more, experience life more. You don't know what all that can offer if that happens. So keep that mindset open. That is going to help you a lot. This is also reminding me how we are always looking into other people's life through the mirror of internet. We are constantly looking at other people's life, right? And then we are judging ourselves, we are creating our own perception, we are sad and all that. But when this illusion goes away, when this mirror goes away, imagine if it goes away, then there is no problem. You can't see anybody, you can't compare yourself anymore. So there are positive things to it as well. We must, and also the mirror also reminds me how we want to see, okay, our perception. So you can change your perception and the same reality will appear different for you than it is appearing for others. So that's one message. Then we also have the message of growth, affirmations for growth. Okay, so honestly this message is like very clearly telling me that stock up, okay, have your own food, your supplies, your resources, your groceries. Also if you can plant maybe some food items, like for example tomatoes and all that around your own little garden, do that. Okay, but stock up on resources, stock up on cash also, because I feel like this, whatever she's wearing, this seems like a coin for me. And plant sometimes also represents wealth. This green color represents wealth as well. So make sure that you have a little bit for yourself. You have cash, everything with you, you have resources, you have supplies, you have groceries. So that is going to be very, very helpful. Then we also have accept love. Okay, now honestly, okay, we have chocolates here, by the way. So honestly this makes me feel like this is also the time to send out a lot of love rather than anger, rage, worries and tension. So be heart centered. As you will be heart centered, you will send a lot of love to the world, to the neighbors, to the people around, because it will be very, very important. So that is why doing meditation, healing practices, any kind of spiritual practices that keeps you centered in your heart and in love is going to be very, very important. Please be in the energy of love, because as I said, Agni, the fire, the rage is high. So we must be centered in love so that we do not get impacted by all of that, by triggers. Okay, because this could also be a time for a lot of, on a personal level, for relationships to fall, for unnecessary conflicts and fights. So be centered in love. Sending out love and being in love, being in divine love is very, very important. Okay, it is something which is difficult when there are tense situations around us and all that, but that's the time when we need the most positive energy. That's the time that, or rather that's how you can contribute. If you think that as a citizen or as a common person, how can I contribute, you can contribute. You have energy. Okay, so that, and please do not see that what you don't have. I again feel this from this card. See, let's say if you do not have a certain set of groceries that you used to have in your other days, relish what you have, enjoy what you have, make it with love, make it with joy, and that will be very good for you. Okay, and then finally we have the card of positive changes. So seeing the positivity in the changes from, from here, from the coast or from the shore, it may not be so clear, that what is coming for us. From here you might feel like, oh, it's drastic, it's bad, it's all bad, okay, but when you sail into it, when you go into the ocean, then you realize, oh, it's actually beautiful. In fact, there's a mermaid waiting for me right there, right? If you see this card, you'll probably find a mermaid here. So the point is that there is something much more mystical, magical, spiritual, okay, divine like waiting for us in these upcoming changes that will happen. So we must remember that these are happening for a positive reason, and as much as we can keep that in our heart, in our mind, it will be easier for us to sail through, and we'll also have miraculous experiences even passing through that change. Okay, so that's what I have for you. Please remember that even though it seems like, oh, it's going to be difficult, but actually it's going to be a very positive change, bringing you to life's miracle that you might not even have noticed, because we are so consumed in our phones even right now, by the way, when you're watching the video. But please watch the video, okay. And now then, also love, right? So that is going to be also very important. Positivity, love, and also being grateful for what you have. Like in this right now, we are so much into consumption all the time. We are ordering things left, right and center, but imagine when you do not have anything to order, how can you be grateful for what you have? Okay, a simple meal of rice and dal or something like that. So all of this is going to be a very positive shift for our inner self, for our inner soul. I hope that this reading has helped you. I really also hope that all of this doesn't really come true, and we go through these positive changes properly. But if they come true, then you know how to navigate through this now. Okay, all right. I'm sending you so much love. Thank you so much. Hare Hare.